I'm Helen Maynard of LittleChipTools, and I've been working on making interesting extrusion dies for people who do pottery. Now, I'm not a pottery person myself. I do 3D printing. I met somebody who does pottery. We became friends, and she got me into making these extrusion dies. Up to now, I've been making them mostly for the large wall-mounted extruders, the 4-inch mostly variety. But I've been getting requests to make them for handheld extruders. So I went out and purchased a handheld extruder. This is by Scott Creek. What's it called? A super duper clay gun. And actually, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. I really like it. I especially like the way that the mechanism, it seems super well designed. I know that I've seen some online tutorials how to make a handheld extruder from a caulking gun. But I can see how this has many advantages. So I like this a lot from the extruder design perspective. But the die, I gotta tell you, leaves a lot to be desired. Now, to me, when I buy something that has a 2-inch diameter barrel, I want to be able to extrude something, I don't know, maybe 2 inches. But instead, what you get is a little coil maker. So this is the die that comes with it. And so they think you should buy this whole thing just to make little coils. Now, I know there's a lot of utility for coils. It's a whole platform for building shapes and forms and vases and jugs and so forth. So it's a good thing. But really, couldn't we do a little better? And don't get me started. Oh, I'm started, obviously. The die doesn't fit very well in the end cap. So the idea is you put the die in the end cap, and then you screw the end cap on. You put your clay in, of course, and then you start extruding. Well, but as you can see pretty easily, it doesn't center at all. The diameter of the die material is much, much smaller than the end cap. And so you have to kind of fiddle around with it to get it centered. But I just think that's ridiculous. Why didn't they make the outside diameter of the metal disc an appropriate size so that it fits into the end cap better? I don't get it. Anyway, so with 3D printing, of course, we can make any shape we want and a diameter we want. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to make much better dies for you. And so you can make, I'm not a potter, but I love giving tools to pottery people. And then they make all these really cool stuff. So I love seeing what you make. Okay, so these are my thoughts on how to make a better die for a handheld extruder. So here's what I've been working on. So of course I start with a hollow die. So this is a hollow die that's just going to make a simple circle. And it fits into the end cap, like thus. Almost put that in backwards. And basically, there's a little bit of leeway, okay, because you don't want it to stick as it goes in and out. But it centers much better than that thing. And it just screws on the end cap here. And, okay, maybe you want to do a little bit of centering. Very unfussy. But there you go. You've got now a hollow die extrusion that is pretty good size for that end cap. Okay? Okay, that was step one. I think that's pretty good. It's an improvement, right? Hollow dies. But, we could do so much better. So, why do I have 2 pieces of plastic screwing onto the end, right? Couldn't they be 1 piece of plastic? Let's do that. Okay, so my next design is a piece that fits on like the end cap, but has the die built into it. And then you just have a selection of different end caps depending on the shape that you want. So here we have a circle die that just screws onto the end of the end cap, thusly. Da-da-da. And now you can make a much bigger die, right? Because you've eliminated all this excess blockage here. So you could make that all into extrusion. So let's just summarize here. Okay, little tiny coil, much bigger circle. This is a hollow die. Okay, and bigger circle yet. So, and this is actually a series that will go on, but this is what I've gotten so far. Now I'm going to try putting some clay in and see if we can get some extrusions going. Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm back, and I now have some clay loaded into the handheld extrusion gun. And let's first try the small die. So let's use the end cap, the little die. Put it on. It's pretty much centered. Okay, let's see what we get. I'm a lefty, so I'm not really sure how to get that primed here. There we go. Okay. Cut the first bit off. I don't have an official wire, so I'm just using some embroidery floss. Cut off the end. And then, here we go. Air bubble. I don't know how to wedge, so I'm sure it's full of air bubbles. But there we go. I mean, that's just a simple circle. It would have much more interesting shapes. This could still be worked into candle holders or shot glasses. I don't know. You'll come up with stuff much better than me. So here we have an example of an extrusion from that simple die. Okay, let's try the other die. So let's try the all-in-one unit. I call this an end cap die. So let's see. Take the end cap off, and we'll get this off. Oops, what am I doing here? Just cut that off. Okay. Let's see if we can just draw this back. Oops. Oh, it doesn't even come back that much, right? I'm just going to smash this on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're just attaching the end cap die onto the end of the extruder and prime it. Okay, there we go. So let's get an extrusion. Go. There we have a round extrusion. But of course, what will be more interesting shapes. Okay. That's what I have so far. I might try some more dies. Okay, so I'm back with some other dies that I've been working on. So I showed the circle. Oh, I already recycled the small circle. So I have the small circle die. I've also made a square and a ribbed structure. I thought it might be interesting to have ribs along the outside wall. And I also made one that kind of looks like a gear. I don't know, thought it might be interesting. Let's try these. Okay, these are conventional dies that would go in the end cap, conventional hollow dies. Okay, having tried the end cap die, take it off. Maybe I should do some lubricant next time. Oh, there we go. That was a little harder than I thought. Okay. No, I'll pull this back. So let's start with the rib die, and we'll put that in the end cap. Screw it on. It's more or less centered. Prime it. Let's cut off the first bit. Okay, here we have a little rib die. Again, I think these things are bending because my clay is not uniform. So hopefully your clay, which will be properly wedged, I'm sure, will extrude straighter. Okay, so that's the rib die. Cut that off. And we'll do the square die. So it's a pretty good little square. I think I could use that. Square, ribbed. Let's see if the gear looks any different. Okay. Okay, last one. So this one looks like a gear. Okay. The gear looks a lot like the ribbed. Maybe I'll have to work on that. But there we are. So new hollow dies for for the Scott Creek Super Duper Clay Gun, with more dies to come. Thanks very much for watching.